They're my travel wolves. So we are at the last video of the series, and I can't wait to start the next one. So I got 2 series coming to you this week. So anyway, this country, I'm laughing because this country, man, is so many problems for me in this country. But at the same time, this country is my weakness. It's almost like I can't even. It's almost like catch 22 for me. I guess I would have to say. I don't know what the word is, but this country had the best dating experiences. Oh my God! Now, real quick, a little bit about me. Like I said, when I became red pill many moons ago, I checked out of dating. I wasn't dating. I was just, doing my thing. As much as you could do in America until it's like, well, you can't do it no more. You got to get out of America. But, and the loneliness was getting to me. It was really creeping in after a while. It was like, you know what? I need to find me. I need to check out what these guys are talking about on YouTube. And everybody was talking about this country. Like, it's the shit, it's this, it's that. And I used to watch this one guy for a long time. And the other guy made a movie. And, it just like, they were like hyping it up. It was my first love. It's the first country I went to. I had a love affair with this country, I dreamt about going here. I used to have the fucking photo on my desktop at work and dream about sitting, looking off at this country, looking off into the beautifulness, the beautiful view of this country. And somebody said to me, "Where's that?" And I said, "That's so-and-so, and that's where I'm going to go one day." And I was surprised when I got there, But then again, because COVID hit, and that messed up all my plans, because I was ready to go. Then COVID hit and messed up all my plans for like a year and a half, right? So, as you all know. Those were tough. That time was tough. But anyway, this country had the best dating experiences. I got so many stories in this country, as you can tell. And like I said, this country, man, I can't say anything bad about it. It's really good. But the experiences, the things that I encountered were bad. It's not really a bad country. I would just say, I don't know, it's just weird for me because it's just the way that I move. You can't move like that in this country. And I guess by now, if you haven't figured out what country I'm talking about Brazil. And Brazil has the best dating experiences. Yes, it is true. While the illusion that all the women look a certain way, that's an illusion. Those women are very difficult to locate, and none of them speak any English. They speak Portuguese. A lot of women here speak Portuguese, believe that. None of them don't speak no English. And they speak a little bit, that's about it. But they don't speak and they don't really understand what they're saying most of the time anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But a lot of the girls here speak Portuguese, One thing I learned about Brazilian women, though, is that they are girlfriends, man. Brazilian women are made to be girlfriends. The lifestyle to them, I don't know. It depends on the girl because it's kind of like a game to them because they're bored and they want to break the monotony in their life of being bored. But at the same time, some of them treat it like a business, and then you just got ones who are just freaky. They're just promiscuous, they're freaky, and they can't keep up with themselves, so they figure, the lifestyle will keep my appetite. They have a huge appetite for sex. I'll say that. Nobody likes to hear that, but it's the truth. And they don't want us saying that, Their men know that. Portuguese men, I call them Portuguese because, they're not really Brazilian. I'll talk about that some other time. But Portuguese men know this, and they don't want us saying it, obviously. Well, they don't want black men saying it, I guess. But, that's a whole other topic. But anyway, that's the truth, though. There was a joke somebody told me about Brazilian wives. He say a Brazilian wife would tell you kissing on the mouth is for husbands. You know, and it's true. It's true. You know, but these women are girlfriends, man. These are girlfriends. I had so many girlfriends in Brazil. But I'm going to tell you about my favorite girlfriend. This is my favorite girlfriend. Oh, she was so good to me. And I don't know how I blew it. I was just feeling myself. Because one thing about Brazil, you would have real dates. You would have a real girlfriend if you stay there, if you live in the country. I was living there. Like 3-4 months. No, 3 months my first time. So, I mean, this was like my first month and a half, probably, I think. And they, you know, they want to be girlfriends, man. That's how they get down there. They don't got time for the games. But you got to watch her because, you know, like I said, they, I don't know what the word is. Let's just say they're very fun-loving. They like to live in the moment. I say that. They like to live in the moment. The trick is to make sure that all the moments they live are with you. So here goes the story, okay? And it wasn't with this girl in the picture. This girl in the picture was one of my wifeys. I had 3 wifeys. Wifey number 1 was Natalia. Oh, my gosh, she was my favorite. I remember the first night I met her in Centaurus. I didn't meet her in Centaurus the first night. I met her in Monte Carlo the first night. I remember I met her in Monte Carlo, and she was so cute. She's a little party girl. She used to do this thing with her hand when she was dancing, and like a lassoing thing. Little party girl, and I didn't really trust her, though, because, you know, again, you know, Brazil's sketchy as fuck, and she called me one night with some weirdo shit on the phone. I heard some guys in the background, and I was like, nah, I'm good. Plus, it was late anyway. And then I winded up running into her again at Centaurus. And after I got to know her, I realized she wasn't trying to rob me. Now, Brazil, that's the next video series. I don't want to spoil it, but okay. And my other wifey was wifey number 2. That was Samantha. That was wifey number 2. Samantha was actually the first girl I joined with in the lifestyle. She was the first one I met, and I just had a big crush on her. She was so cute, and she spoke no English. She spoke Portuguese, but Samantha was like really mature. She was older than she looked. Other girls would tell me, but she didn't look as old as they said she was. So maybe that's why she was so mature. And I probably should have went after her more, but I didn't. I was very impatient with her. And then my last wifey, who was wifey number 3? I can't remember now. Wifey number 3, Natalia. Oh, this is wifey number 3, yeah. Paola, okay. This is Paola, wifey number 3. And she was a party girl. She liked to talk shit. And when I met her, she act like she drunk and laughs loud and dances and all kinds of, and she wears these short skirts and she like works out, so her body's biff and it keeps riding up. But she's full of herself. She has a huge fucking ego, man. For a woman, she has a huge ego and she's full of herself. But I thought she was cute because, like I said, I like party girls. I like girls that like to party. I like girls that laugh loud. And I like they drunk and talk all crazy and laugh and laugh at people and are tough and ready to fight and knock someone out, too, at the same time. If you get offended by them laughing at you, which is mainly another girl, you know, girl stuff, like a little bit like a girl bully. She's a bit of a girl bully. This one right here, Paola, she was like a girl bully in the club. She was bullying all the other girls all the time, you know, laughing at them, making fun of them, you know. And she even made fun of the girl I started hanging out with that I'm going to tell you about the date. But they didn't know I was hanging out with her. Because come to find out, she had got fired from this club. And I think I asked about her. I asked what happened, what really happened to her. And they were making fun of her. It was so funny because everything they said was right. But I shouldn't have acted like that to her because she was really like my first real date in Brazil was with this girl. Her name was Bruna. A lot of girls you're going to meet down there are going to be named Bruna, Paola. These are famous names. Anyway, here goes the story. So I used to go to this one thermal all the time called the Monte Carlo. It was my place. I used to go there every night almost. I used to go there 4 nights a week because I was so bored all the time. They knew me very well there. And have a good time. Drink, talk, meet other expats, eat, whatever. And so, there was this one girl there named Bruna. And Bruna, she had a weird look to her. I don't know. It was something about, people kept telling me it was COVID. There's a different type of girl that came out after COVID. Came back after COVID was released. The really bad ones were like still on hiatus or vacationing or found something else better to do with their lives. And then these were like the third stringers, That's what people kept telling me when I would go into the thermos. They were like, this ain't how it used to be, bro. Don't waste your money here. This ain't how it used to be. Trust me. I've been coming here for like 18 years. And saying like, this ain't it. And these guys would be mad. Like it was a bunch of us that came back, and I was here for the first time, of course, but they were mad at what they discovered when they came back after the COVID restrictions. So anyway, Bruna, she was like one of these girls. It was like a throwback from the 30s or 40s. She used to wear this red lipstick on her lips, and her hair was like Shirley Temple, and she was like a voluptuous girl. She had a fuller body, but it looked nice, But she wasn't really the cutest one. She wasn't really the funnest one or the sexiest one. But she tried. She would really come at you, she would come at you subtle. Like, she was smooth. And she spoke English. If you came across a girl that spoke English in this club, it really makes your whole night. So anyway, I remember Bruna had gave me her phone number, but like I said, I wasn't really interested in her. I was trying to get me a baddie, Baddies, Brazilian baddies, they got an ego. A lot of them got egos, and they're assholes. You know what I'm saying? They're assholes. So I don't like assholes. I don't like women that are assholes. But with them, you make an exception. Like I'll tell you about this other one. Her name was, I'll have to do that story some other time. But I remember the one that I really loved was Priscilla. But Priscilla was cocky. That was cocky. That was a bad cocky bitch. And she really wasn't even that cocky. Like there's another chick that goes by Bruna. And Bruna was fire. But Bruna, she an asshole though. And she's cocky. So but Bruna, and of course what happened, as they all do, they discount me. They discount me for their shallowness. Maybe the way I look or the way I talk or the way I behave or whatever it is that they don't like about me. They don't take me seriously. And then they always see me later, like a year or so, maybe a couple months later, and realize, yeah, bitch, I'm the real man. I'm the real dude. You know what I'm saying? I'm the real dude. And then they on my dick, and I'm like, I'm not interested no more. I'm just not interested no more. You got to be on my dick when you first meet me, not later when you realize I'm the real doogie. I'm the real doogie. What did he say? This means who's really the shit? I'm really the shit. So anyway, going back to Bruna. So she gave me her number. Now, I don't know what happened. For some reason, I decided to start talking to her. And one day I texted her, and I was like, do you want to hang out or go for coffee at the Starbucks or something like that? And she was like, she couldn't that day because she was busy. But she was like, tomorrow we can. And that's one thing about Brazilian women. They don't move that fast. They really have plans all the time. So when they tell you they can't come out that day, they're not the spontaneous type. You shouldn't take it personal. They really have a lot of plans. Like they have a book. They have a social calendar, for real. And it's rude to inquire. But, we be inquiring. I be inquiring anyway, because I like to know. I'm like to be all up in the business. I'm nosy. I want to know what you think is better than chilling with me. It's 24 hours in a day. You better make 16 for me. So anyway, so we set up for the next day. No biggie. And I remember her texting me what time I wanted to meet. I told her 3, but I told her I said, let me make this very clear for her though. I said to her, I said, we're not going to have sex. We're not going to have sex. We're not going to have sex. I think I told her that like 3 times, 4 times, because I didn't want to be on the hook for any time, just paying for any time, because I really wasn't trying to do that. I really was just trying to talk to someone who spoke English and learn about Brazil, learn what I needed to know, and get some help trying to find a place, And so trying to find an apartment. I wanted to rent a real apartment, which actually Bruna ended up becoming like she lived with me for a little while. That's how crazy it was between us. That's how I say that, they really become your girlfriend. Brazilian women would become your girlfriend. And it's kind of funny because this chick, Paola, she wanted to be my girlfriend. And she wanted to be my girlfriend so bad, she would start leaving her shoes at my house. Well, at my Airbnb anyway, because I was, like I said, I'm there like 2 months now. She would start leaving her shoes behind. Another story for another time. And I would be like, and I would ask her, but why is she leaving her shoes here? She got all these shoes in my crib. And they'd be like, oh, because she thinks she's coming back. And she wants to make sure that if someone else comes by, they know that she's with you. They know that you have a woman. But I didn't want to receive her as my girlfriend, because she had a kid, and I don't really see myself being a boyfriend or stepdaddy season or any of that. That was the only thing wrong with her, with this one in the photo. She had a kid. If she didn't have a kid, we would have been perfect together, because otherwise everything else was great, So anyway, I remember telling Bruna this a bunch of times, and she's like, okay, no problem. We'll just talk. We'll be friends. We'll hang out like friends. And I was like, okay, that's fine. We can be friends. Yeah, let's do that. So we met at the Starbucks, and she came, and she was like, she dressed casual. I thought she looked cute not being in the club. She looked cute. She came, was dressed casual. I was like, yo, I'm not spending no money for no time with nobody. I just want to hang out. We can hang out. I'm not spending no money to hang out with you, right? That's where I was, like, by my 2nd month in Brazil. I was like, I'm not spending no more money to hang out with nobody. Because you got to do that, too. They really be wanting you to spend money with them to hang out. And that's what I mean. Like, it's totally different in Brazil than it is in Thailand, than it is in Colombia. That part, the hanging out with you part. Well, no, actually, the hanging out with you part is the same as it is in Colombia and Brazil. But shit gets to a head in Brazil a lot quicker than in Colombia. You know what I'm saying? In Colombia, they don't start that shit until like 10 hours, 12 hours. In Brazil, they start that shit after like 45 minutes, literally. So anyway, we was at the Starbucks and we were talking, and she wanted to know about things about black people, like Black Lives Matter and all this stuff. And I think at the time, some brothers had got arrested at the Starbucks. And I remember she didn't believe me. And I was telling her, because she looked white. She's like a white woman. And I was telling her about that. If we was in America, what this would be like. And I showed her the video of the brothers getting arrested at the Starbucks. And she literally broke down and cried. And I was like, wow. And she explained to me about how many Brazilians have racial bigotry towards Afro-Brazilians, And the ones that look white, they don't feel like that, but because the way they look, they're also judged by the Afro-Brazilians, but they don't harbor racial bigotry, and she's one of them, And I didn't, like, race and culture and all that in Brazil is so complicated. And it's another discussion, but it's really complicated. But yeah, I can tell you that there's one thing about Brazil I didn't like was they had the most racial bigotry of everyone. They got more racial bigotry than Colombia and Thailand and all the countries I went to in Europe. Brazil is no bueno when it comes to acceptance. I don't like to use the word tolerance, but when it comes to acceptance, they don't accept you as Afro or if you look Afro, So anyway, after that kind of touched my heart. So I said, okay, she's cool. She's really cool, I'm not having sex with her, though. No, that's not going to happen. I'm not paying her for sex. No. So I said, let's go get some dinner. I'm hungry. Let's go eat. So we took a little walk, or we hopped in an Uber, I think, and we went down to eat at this great Peruvian Chinese restaurant right up the block from the big hotel there in Copacabana, like the world famous hotel in Copacabana. I forgot what it's called, but there's a Peruvian restaurant next to the Brazilian barbecue spot, by the way, which I also love. I love Brazilian barbecue. So anyway, we went there and we ate and we talked some more, and she was a good conversationist, and I didn't even know it. Next thing I know, she's starting to grow on me. I'm starting to see her differently. And I'm like, oh, she has some cute things about her. She helps with ordering the food because she speaks Portuguese and English. She has this really weird, goofy laugh that I like, like she laughs really weird. And, and she keeps looking at me a certain way. She had this look she would give me. So after we ate, now this probably for me was the highlight of the date. Because remember, I hadn't been on a real date in America in several years. I wasn't doing that. I wasn't buying no more meals and all that. Playing all those dating games and all that stuff. I wasn't doing that no more. I stopped doing that a long time. Anyway, we walk out the restaurant, and I'll never forget, she grabs my arm, and she walking with me arm in arm. And that's another thing about Brazilian women. They will walk with you arm in arm. They like to hold hands, but they really like to walk arm in arm with you. Like, they don't like you to walk like you're not with them. Even if they don't like you, that's one thing I gotta say, though. The complexities of women, especially Brazilian women, they have a tradition and they have etiquettes and they have, what's the word? Is it etiquette? Yeah, they have etiquettes that they follow. Where, like, even though they don't like you, if that's not, they're not going to show that to nobody. If they're out with you, they're going to walk like, they're your woman and they like you. They're not going to act like indifferent to you, even if they don't like you. I remember, like, one time, another date I had, this girl, and I don't know, it wasn't really much chemistry there. We just chilled. We were just chilling in my apartment. It's like after Bruna. This is after Bruna, but I met some other girl. We were just chilling in my apartment. And I'll never forget, like, she didn't really like me. But, like, when I ordered dinner for us and it came, and I was trying to set up the meal, take stuff out the bag, she stopped me. Like, she really stopped me. Like, she put her hand like, no. And she did everything. Set up the food, cut the food, all that. Like, that's real. They do that. Brazilian women take that role seriously about doing the nurturing and doing the food prep and all that stuff and serving and being of service to you when it comes time to eat. That's nurturing. It's nurturing. They take that seriously. And I was like, yeah, okay, I forgot about that. Because I was like, I know she don't like me. She's just here for the reason she's here. But that part, I thought was like, that's what gave me a favorable impression of them. Their nature, Brazilian women, their nature is good. The politics complicate their lives, and they have a healthy social structure. So healthy social structure means their life is never incomplete. Their life is always full. Their Sunday to Sunday life is full. They got a guy for every day of the week, and they have things to do every day of the week. And if they want to open up anything to you, it's not going to be easy because they don't have anything incomplete. And you got to understand, like, they've been dealing with people all their lives, day in, day out. And I can tell you from personal experience, living in Hawaii, I've seen this firsthand. So it's kind of funny, in all the countries that I've been to, they all have healthy social systems. What does that mean? I'll talk about that later. But I've lived that in the state that I live in, where there's a healthy social system, So people who have that, it's hard to become inoculated into their world or their life or whatever you want to call it. So, and I don't like to do all that. I'm pretty much like when it comes to people around me, I'm very reserved about that. I don't like a lot of people around me. I'm used to just being with my bad bitch and me, and we just doing our thing. Everybody else can blow, because it's hard for me to, like, come down off the throne and be among the sheep. I'm a lion. I can't just